Welcome back. And as we earlier said, that the extraordinary idea of housing Antiquities Museum in the cultural complex of Bibliotheca Alexandrina was born when several exquisite pieces dating back to the Hellenistic, Roman and these eras were discovered during the excavation works of the construction site of the library. To our knowledge, that this museum was executed or was inaugurated in 2002. And of course, I have my dear guest here with me, Dr. Hussein Basseer Hassan. He's director for the Antiquities Museum at the Bibliotheca Alexandrina. He could correct me because it was a surprise that this very precious museum is located inside the library, and probably we Egyptians haven't heard that much about it earlier before. And with the flaw of inauguration of those museums around Egypt everywhere, and earlier another two museums were inaugurated in Terminal 2 and Terminal 3 in Cairo International Airport also, and together with the other museum in Sharm el-Sheikh and Hurghada and different places. Egypt is hosting very, very precious bouquet of museums that is reflecting our history, our culture, our concern with the sustainable development, like the museum in Ain al-Sira, also the National Museum for Civilization, also that is also talking and concerned about sustainable development, many museums. And of course, Dr. Hussein is going to talk to us about the museum in Bibliotheca Alexandrina and other museums also. Good morning,
Good morning.
Basseer.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure hosting you here. And of course, the establishment of the museum and its importance in one of the best and the most important libraries worldwide, and also hosting a museum. How important could it be to that particular library, especially that it is hosting thousands and thousands of guests from all over the world? Even in spite of the pandemic, people are visiting the library.
Yes, you are right, because as you know, the Antiquities Museum at the Bibliotheca Alexandrina is very unique in two things, because it is the only museum all over the world within a library. So this is the only museum for sure to be in a library, and this museum also preceding the idea of opening the library itself, because as you mentioned, when we were digging in that site of the library to build a new library, we discovered many artifacts there, around 111 pieces, and at that time we decided that we have to build a museum within this cultural complex.
And that was in 2002?
Yes, and the excavation started back in 1994, and then the opening was in 2002, and as you know, almost like we are very close to almost like 20 years of serving the visitors of Alexandria, Alexandrian people, and many people coming from everywhere. And to be honest with you, the museum is like the focal point of any visits coming to the library. Last week, we had the Greek Prime Minister with Dr. Mustafa al-Fiqi, both of them were coming after he met with President Fattah Sisi and came to Alexandria. And he is married to a lady originally Greek from Alexandria, and his mother, stepmother, was.
There is a huge community, Greek community in Alexandria.
Yes.
Even the architecture and even the places, the streets, the essence and the cuisine there it has a taste of Greek culture.
Yes, as you know, the city was
Greek and Italian.
Yes, the city. You are right. The city was founded by Alexander the Great back in 332 BC, and since then Alexander tried to unify the East and West in one unity. And since then, the message of Alexander is still existing in Alexandria, and until probably the time of President Nasser. At that time, as you know, many foreigners left Alexandria, but nowadays in the time of President Sisi, like Alexandria is like flourishing, because as you know, we have many programs like roots, back to roots with Greece and with Cyprus, and President Sisi invited the Greek president and the Cyprus president to come and visit Egypt And we have also many Greek people coming from Greece itself to visit the library and to visit Alexandria, because as you know, they are coming to look back for their roots in this marvelous city.
Alexandria has its reputation for years as one of the best resorts worldwide for summers. And we have, of course, the infrastructure booming العلمين and northern coast. And of course, as we all know, it could be one of the most popular resorts worldwide. But Alexandria in itself, the old Alexandria, still remains intact and still remains, it has its essence, and it has its popularity when it comes to culture, when it comes to history, when it comes to antiquities. Having Bibliotheca Alexandrina located in the center of Alexandria with that history, rich culture, and popularity amongst all intellectuals and people who like to read about history, is giving its magic or charm.
Yes.
Talk to us about it.
Yeah, as you know, the Bibliotheca Alexandrina, it's almost international center, has many things. Like we have culture, we have music, we have cinema, we have antiquities, we have books, and we have manuscripts. We have many museums. It's not only the Antiquities Museum. We have Manuscript Museum. We have Shadi Abdel Salam also museum. We have Anwar Sadat Museum, and nowadays also we preparing one for Haykal, Muhammad Hassanin Haykal, the famous writer, and one also for Ahmad Zuwail, and one for Dr. Boutros Ghali. So many great figures of Egyptian politics and culture. Nowadays we are like opening and preparing new galleries for them within this complex of Alexandria, also in the Shotby area. But as you know, Alexandria, Bibliotheca Alexandria, it's not only in the Shotby area. We have also the Beit Sinari.
Amazing.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's in Cairo. We have also a new palace called Khadija Palace in Helwan area, and nowadays also with cooperation with the Ministry of Tourism and Antiquities with Dr. Khalid Lanani, we will have a new house for the Bibliotheca Alexandrina in Rosetta, in Rashid, in the Delta. Another one also in Fouwa, in Kafr Sheikh Governorate, because both of them are very close to Alexandria and represent, like you can say, regional centers, and we would love to.
It could be cultural stops.
Yes, and the outreach.
And it is an attempt also, I believe, to encourage visitors to go to Rosetta, to go to Kafr Sheikh.
Yes.
This is a very smart, by the way, and we have to send him our gratitude, the Minister of Antiquities, Dr. Khalid Anani, to be able to come up with ideas like that.
Yes.
Because he is encouraged, and Dr. Mustafa
Yeah, because as you know, this is like, and also we have received from Dr. Khalid Anani recently a wonderful statue for a vizier, a minister in the Old Kingdom Egypt called Tibet. He was living in Dynasty 5 or Dynasty 6 in the Old Kingdom. And as you know, this statue is very important because Alexandria and the Bibliotheca Alexandrina was a center and is still a center of culture and written documents. So we should have a statue for a scribe, and the scribe was a very important figure in ancient Egyptian society. So we got this one, and also we will get a Book of the Dead manuscript, papyri, Sunish, from also the National Museum of Egyptian Civilization, from the Minister of Antiquities, Dr. Khalid Lanani, to be displayed at our museum at the Bibliotheca Alexandrina. So we do so much work, and also when you come, you see like a statue probably for Cleopatra, Alexander the Great, and many Greek, Roman pieces.
Very popular,
Yes.
and you can take a tablet of history, but in a very light way.
Yes, it's like you can see and visit and watch history of Egypt from the beginning up till now, 5,000 years in 5 minutes. Yeah, in 5 minutes, and also we use
capsule.
we use also the multimedia application. We did a wall of knowledge, and wall of knowledge, it's a merge, or a mix between technology, IT applications, and Egyptology. We through the IT application, you can through using your mobile, you can download a software and learn about the Book of the Dead in ancient Egypt in 3 languages: Arabic, English, and French. And you can learn also and listen to the music, read the hieroglyphs, know the figures which are illustrated on this papyrus.
Amazing. But also, let's go back to the Antiquities Museum. I mean, even us Egyptians are really amazed to hear that in Bibliotheca Alexandrina, which is a marvelous piece in its own self, there is another entity inside the Antiquities Museum that is exhibiting another piece of history, or from another part. To my knowledge, I haven't seen it, but to my knowledge, it could be a cultural museum more than an antiquities one or historical one. So what type of museum is it?
It's an archaeological museum.
Archaeological?
Yes, we have many pieces since the beginning, since the Pharaonic era, through Greek-Roman era, Coptic, Byzantine, until Islamic and modern time. So from the beginning up till now, you can learn through around 1,200 pieces. You will be enjoying the history of Egypt, especially Alexandria, especially Greek-Roman era. And also we have several sections of the museum. We have like the Pharaonic section, the Greek-Roman section, the Coptic section, Islamic section, modern time section, and we have also afterlife hall and antiquities and Bibliotheca Alexandrina site, because as I mentioned before, we dedicated a hall for the pieces which we discovered in this site before opening the library. So we have many pieces there. We have two wonderful mosaic representing two people fighting each other, and a dog.
It has inscriptions also?
Yeah, it has an inscription, but those are like mosaic. It's like a painting or a depiction of several figures.
The painting comes with inscription, or they come as paintings?
These two ones don't have an inscription, but other pieces have inscriptions. We have many pieces from Pharaonic times, and we have like King Ahmose Nefertari and her son Amenhotep or Amenophes I. We have a wonderful piece for them. We have this scarab, as I told you. We have a wonderful statue of Alexander the Great from Roman time, and a piece also for Cleopatra. And also we have sunken antiquities. You mean underwater archaeology? We discovered so many pieces from underwater archaeology in Alexandria, in the Eastern Harbor, and also in Qaitbay Fort. And these pieces nowadays are displayed at the museum. They were outside, they were abroad for almost 7
They
years.
were restored, yes, of course.
And they returned it back to us. We have a wonderful piece, a wonderful statue, probably Queen Arsinoe II or Goddess Isis, and this piece is amazing. It was discovered underwater, and it is now displayed in the museum, and traveled abroad for almost like 7 years and just returned back from America last month.
Right. People won't even imagine how valuable is it and precious to people, to European and American tourists, to come and see statue of a Cleopatra or the head of Cleopatra, because Hollywood have reflected the story of Cleopatra and have talked about that particular phase in history. So it's a very smart idea by you to be able to exhibit these things. But also, what type of tourists that come and visit the museum nowadays?
Nowadays we have like a few foreigners, to be honest with you, but we have many like Egyptian, many Arabs, and especially students of schools and universities used to come and work and learn, because we have like schools from art schools coming to do their own work and learn about the artistic values from ancient pieces that we have at the museum. So we have around 1 million visitors coming to the Bibliotheca Alexandrina.
In spite?
Not nowadays, but usually.
Usually,
yeah. But nowadays, almost like 250,000 or so coming to visit the library the whole year, not.
250,000 is a good number.
Yes.
Yes, right. And also because of the location of the Bibliotheca Alexandrina, because of the season. I mean, you could be controlling the season of the summer with your cultural events. Of course, you don't host seminars now or things like that.
We do, but online. As
Very
you know,
little.
we have like twice a month, we have like 2 lectures by speakers, by researchers in the field of Egyptology, Greek-Roman studies. So we have, and also we do like a program for kids. I mean, like we have like museum education, and we have specialists does this, and we go like to Cairo also to do the same.
So you have awareness activities for
Yes,
kids also.
yes.
What is the age range?
Yeah, it's from age 8 until 16, and we have
very
also
good.
at the library a library for kids, and one for also teenagers, and the youth come during the summer and do their own work, and really they're doing a great job. And recently also we did this two-dimension pieces, because we have, as you know, at the Bibliotheca Alexandrina, we have Taha Hussein library for blind, and so we did the same. We did this two-dimension pieces just to make people who are blind or like.
So you have a special sector for special needs.
Yes, to touch these wooden pieces, just
The
to
braille.
know, by writing and to learn about what is written, but also to touch these pieces to see how the artifact look like.
Amazing. But tell us about the story of the Greek Prime Minister visiting you earlier.
Yes.
And how he was impressed by the library and the findings and the artifacts and the whole situation and the environment, and how you are setting the setup inside the library.
Yeah, he came around 6:30 p.m. and really we were waiting for him, and he said he will stay almost for 30 minutes, but really he stayed longer than this time. And he was received by Dr. Mustafa Al-Fiqi, the director of Bibliotheca Alexandrina, and really he visited many places, and also he spent a lot of time at our museum, because as you know we have many Greco-Roman artifacts, and he's from Greece, as you know. So he
Does he speak Arabic?
He does a little bit.
Yeah, just like all Greek people.
Yeah, because his wife is originally Egyptian, and
because the origin of words are sometimes Greek.
Closer, and also his stepmother, she's Egyptian and she talks Arabic fluently. So he came and visited the place, and really he loved, and he's a very nice guy, to be honest with you. He was friendly and talking to us in a very friendly way, and
all the Mediterraneans are very friendly.
Greeting everybody.
But also, what exactly did he prefer?
Alexander the Great, because this is the guy, and then Cleopatra. And after that, the queen I told you about, Arsumes II or Isis, this piece which came from underwater archaeology of Alexandria. So he stood a lot in front of these pieces.
There weren't any talks, Dr. Mustafa, there could be some collaborative efforts, Greek-Egyptian collaborative efforts, or hosting some other cultural activities or antiquities, common antiquities, because we also have common history.
Yes.
So, and we have a common background, historical background of bilateral relations. So, aren't you planning with having any common activities on with the Greek side?
Dr. Mustafa Al-Fiqi visited Greece with a wonderful team from Bibliotheca Alexandrina a few years ago, and really we had a good connection with them, and we still have also. And but as you know, nowadays, because of this coronavirus issue, we do so much work with them. We just translated a book from English to Arabic about Greeks in modern Egypt. And this book is published by EC Press, and nowadays it's published in Arabic by Bibliotheca Alexandrina and also EC Press. So it gives us a wonderful idea about the Greek families, which were very
contemporary now.
Yes.
What happened to them? That's a very good. That's a very good gesture.
Yes. And the book was given to His Excellency the Prime Minister, and also he gave to Dr. Fiya another book also.
Right.
And Dr. Fiya gave him also the catalog of Antiquities Museum. It's a wonderful book. It's
very smart efforts on your side, of course. Dr. Hussein Abdul Basseer Hassan, you are the Director of Antiquities Museum in Bibliotheca Alexandrina. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you so much for having me.
We're really very happy to receive you here. And I guess this would bring us to the end of this segment, but we're not finished with the breakfast show yet. We're going to go to a short break and we'll come to continue, so stay with us.